Y'all may be seated. Good afternoon. Welcome family, friends, staff, and graduates of the hour. Welcome to the Crossville High School graduation ceremony of the class of 2024. I, Stephanie Diaz, have the honor of being up here to welcome everyone here today to the Crossville High School graduation ceremony. I want to try to make this speech go as fast as I can. First, I would like to say that we are almost done, class of 2024. In just a couple of minutes, we will officially be done with high school. We all go our... First, I would like to say something. First, I would like to say that we are almost done, class of 2024, and just a couple of officially done with high school. We will all go our separate ways, and as we say, it's an end of one journey and the beginning of another. I would like to say some things that we have accomplished throughout the years. We have learned so many things and overcame obstacles to this moment. From being the class that never had a middle school graduation due to COVID, now here we are, about to graduate high school. It feels like it was yesterday that we were just walking into freshman year, but here we are, graduating. To all these special moments we have created now being memories that we forever cherish the most. To the friendships that we have made throughout the years, hope to remain the same as close in the future. As we move on to this next chapter of our lives, this is one step closer to our goals and dreams and becoming successful. As we celebrate this accomplishment, I want to remind you all that this is just the beginning of our journey. We still have so much to learn and so much to achieve. As we go out today, the world is waiting for us to make a mark. Our talent, skills for a different. We are all achieving anything. We can all achieve anything we set our minds to. One last thing and I'll be done. To my mom and to my sister, the ones that have pushed me the most and believed in me the most, I love you. I know I don't say this as much, but I really do love you, Mom. And I really do love you, sister. And I love you, Mom and Dad. And I love my brothers too. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, students, faculty and staff, members of the board, and parents and family. My name is Stacy Gilbert, and I am the 11th and 12th grade counselor here at Crossville High School.
Buenas noches, damas y caballeros, estudiantes, profesores y personales, miembros de la Junta Directiva, padres, familiares. Su nombre es Stacy Miller y es la consejera de los grados 11 y 12.
I am up here tonight to recognize several of our seniors. I am honored to do this because these seniors will forever hold a special place in my heart. The students and faculty know this, but many of you do not. I am a United States Army veteran, so it gives me great honor to recognize these students.
Está aquí esta noche para reconocer a varios de nuestros estudiantes. Se siente honrada de hacerlo porque estas estudiantes siempre tendrán un lugar especial en su corazón. Los estudiantes y profesores lo saben, pero muchos de ustedes no saben que ella es una veterana del ejército de los Estados Unidos, por lo que es un gran honor para ella reconocer a los siguientes estudiantes.
When I call your name, please stand. Alizera Lopez, Luis Zavala, Giselda Perez Cortez, Natalie Machado, Velasquez Chun, Diana Quintana, and Warner Vasquez Ramirez. All of these students have made the decision to join the military and serve our country. So if everyone would please take of our Crossville High School band will play the national anthem.
At this moment, we'll get started with the
Good evening, everyone. I'm Principal John Peppers, and I'm a proud 1990 graduate of Crossville High School. On behalf of our faculty, staff, and student body, we'd like to welcome everyone to 2024 senior graduation. I would also like to recognize a few people here tonight. First off, I would like to thank my assistant principal, Dr. Deidre Tidwell. Through her dedication and hard work in helping to make this a successful year. I'd also like to thank Assistant Superintendent Dr. Brian Thomas, Supervisor Jim Manus, and DeKalb County Board Member Kelly Armstrong. Thank y'all for being here. I could not go without recognizing this group of people. I'd also like to thank some very important people for you seniors. Without them, you wouldn't be at this stage at this point. And that's our faculty. Please stand, faculty. Seniors, this is the night that is the culmination of a great school year. And it's also the pinnacle for your educational commitment to our school. Thank you, seniors, for everything you've done for Crossville High School. At this time, I would like to recognize our guest speaker. I've kind of kept this under wraps for several weeks, and I've kind of teased the seniors on the guest speaker. They all thought it was going to be Shaquille O'Neal, but I got somebody even better than Shaquille O'Neal. This person came to me about 6 years ago to interview for a job. We spent about 2 hours in an interview, and as a former history teacher, we began to talk more and more about history. Before he left that meeting, I handed him the job. I was so impressed. I learned a lot in that meeting just from him. Over the years, he's done a successful job at Crossville High School. He even was named the Alabama AP U.S. History Teacher of the Year. He's no longer with us right now, but he moved on to bigger things, because anytime you do a successful job, you end up with a better job. And he's now currently professor at Gadsden State Community College. At this time, I'd like to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Jacob Malone.
becoming increasingly convinced that I'm the guest speaker because Shaquille O'Neal was too expensive. And I'd like to apologize to everybody because nobody's ever attended a graduation and thought, I hope it's longer. And I'm already eating up time and I intend on taking some more, so I apologize, but bear with me. I am thrilled to be here, and it's sincerely because I love you guys so much. I told a lot of people in person when I had them in class this past semester, but I'll say it all to y'all now. Leaving this school was a really hard decision, and I decided to do it for my kids, the three that are my biological children. And it was a hard decision, which should tell you how much I think of you guys as my kids. I really do love y'all. Glad to be back. It's been good, but I've missed y'all a lot. I'm going to talk as quickly as I can today, but I guess what I thought about was, when I was in the classroom with y'all, for us, it was AP, man, right? It's AP, pre-AP, whatever you had me for both years, we're going. Y'all would ask me every day, are we doing anything today, which is hilarious, because I don't remember a single day we didn't do something, but y'all had a lot of hope, which I respected. And I pushed for that so much, and so it could be jarring for me to say it now. I wanted you to get to this spot right now so you would have options, but what I want to talk about today is not academic at all. What I've really been thinking about is, what would I want young people to hear on their graduation night before they go out into the world, especially young people I care about and love. I am in a different position now, but I'm still around young people, and I haven't heard anybody just say this to me, but I'm going to make some assumptions about how y'all feel right now. I'm assuming you feel like you just got finished with some awesome journey. It's almost like you're pulling your ship into harbor and you've been out at sea for 13 years and you're finally back and you did it and you're kind of ready to get off the boat and say, y'all, like I did it, right? And it probably feels like those people in your lives are trying to shove you back in the boat and being like, yeah, but now you have to go do other stuff. Like now it's time for college, get a job, go do stuff, right? And it can be a frustrating experience. I also am going to make an assumption based on what I see in our world today, that there are a lot of young people that are getting back into that boat and kind of disembarking and going out into the world again that don't have a lot of hope. We see a lot of things in our culture that tell us that young people don't have a lot of hope. We see a lot of things in our culture that tell us that young people feel very alone, that young people sometimes get discouraged, that young people kind of feel like they're drifting, that they get out of school and they get out of this sort of regimented life and it's sort of like, what do I do now? And so maybe that's not how you feel, and it's a blessing if you don't. But maybe you do. And so I thought, what do I want to say to that person? And so, very quickly, I have 2 points, and the first one's longer than the second, so be encouraged when I get finished with the first. First, I just want to tell y'all what I want you to know. And then secondly, I want to tell y'all what I want you to do. What I want you to know is that you ought to have a lot of hope. And that you ought to be looking at the rest of your life less as you have to go off on your own and make something, and more as you get to join this grand adventure that all the rest of us are in. And the reason that is, and primarily the thing I want you to know, and I'm just going to say it in a very straightforward way, the reason that's true is because there is a God. And if that's true, and it is, and I don't have time to argue with you and convince you of that, though increasingly young people need to convince them of that, let me give you my favorite argument. Throughout history, somewhere between 95 and 99% it's estimated of humans have believed there was a God. And so if you want to take the position that there's not, you essentially have to be a snob, which is not fun. And so you have to think 99% of the human race has been wrong, and I finally got it right, which is a hard position. So let's assume for a moment that that's true, there's a God. If that's true, there's implications of that. Some of those implications, there's 3 I want to mention quickly, is that means there's truth in the world, that means there's goodness in the world, and that means that there's beauty in the world. And those 3 things are absolutes. They're ultimate. They're as high as they can go because they come from God. And so there's truth in the world, and we all know that. You're about to go out into a culture where you're going to hear that it's about your truth and I have my truth, and we say that in a spirit of tolerance. Guys, we all want truth. There are things you don't believe today that you believed when you were 7, and they made you happier when you believed they were true. But you don't believe them anymore. It's because you know they're not true. We all want truth. And if there is truth, it means you're not just going out into this just kind of malaise of humanity to try to figure out what you think is right. You get to go on this adventure and discover the truth. If you're going to be an academic and go to college, you're going to get to sit in this room with all these people from varying backgrounds and different religions and races and background, all these things. But you're all there for one reason, which is to discover what the truth is. It's really discouraging if there's nothing that's true. We don't really have a direction, we have no compass, but there is a truth, and I want you to know that. And whether you're an academic or not, I want you to go out and pursue it. There's also goodness. There are things that are just right. And that can make people uncomfortable, but that's ultimately the only thing that gives us hope. Because where a lot of hopelessness comes from is it feels like nothing matters. But if there's goodness in the world, then things matter. And that's a good thing. And ultimately, we want goodness. Y'all have 3 young children. The first thing children start to ask is why. One of the first things they start to claim is, that's not fair. Why? Because they want fairness. There's something in us that just knows it's better to bake a pie for your widowed neighbor than to kick your brother. We can't explain why we know that, but everybody just knows that that's true, that that's just good and that's bad. And that allows us to enter into a world where there's things like justice. You know, I love a story of a college student that turned in a beautiful paper about how there was no such thing as truth. And he turned it into a blue folder. And his professor took the folder and he said, I'm giving you a 0. And he didn't even read the paper. And the student said, what are you talking about? And he said, well, I don't like blue folders, and so I'm giving you a 0. And the student said, that's not fair. You can't do that. And he said, why? Do you think there's such a thing as a right and a wrong? There's just something in us that we know that. And so you guys get to go on this adventure, and you're going to mess up on it. I mess up on it every day, where we go out into life and we're not just doing random things or doing what makes us happy in the moment. We're going out to try to do the right thing, to try to make the world better, because there's such thing as a better, because there's such thing as a good. And so I want to encourage you to go out and to see what is the next right thing to do, to go out and be good and to enjoy that goodness. And y'all, there's beauty. That one doesn't need explanation. Some things are just beautiful. There's some things in the world that you can point out to your friend and say, isn't that beautiful? And if they say no, they're just wrong. Sunsets. There's just things that are beautiful. And that's true because there's absolutes. There's things that are true, there's things that are good, and you get to go out into a world that truly is, y'all, beautiful. Now, if all those things are true, and I want you to know that they are, it means that you're not going out into a world completely on your own with no purpose. It means you're going out into a world that has truths to be discovered by your intellect, and it has goodness to be chosen by your wills, and it has beauty to be desired by your hearts. And you have this adventure in front of you to go and discover and to do and to be. And you get to be a part of something that we're all as humanity doing together. You're not alone. There are these things out there that we're all trying to figure out. We all want the truth and goodness. We all want to enjoy the beauty. And so, with that in mind, the last thing, and again, it's my shortest point and I'll be finished, is what I want y'all to do. And it's not maintain the 3.8 in college, and it's not a specific academic goal, it's not pass an AP exam. I want you to go out and I want you to love. Guys, I always loved the first day of class because I would tell teenage boys that I loved them, and I loved watching how uncomfortable they hated it. Oh man, and I would tell them that a lot, probably weekly. And at some point, I probably shared with you guys my favorite definition of love. St. Thomas Aquinas said that love is to will the good of the other. It's to choose good things for other people. Now, you can't love somebody unless you believe there's such a thing as a good thing. We believe that. But guys, when we think about others, when we think about what can I go out and do for others, what I want you to shift in your perspective tonight is that you're not going out into the world as a graduate of Crossville High School to ask, what can this world provide me with? Is it stable? Are we going to have a World War III? Or is there going to be another pandemic? Is there going to be this thing? But rather to ask, what can I give to the world? I have good things in me, and I want to share them with others, and ultimately, what I want you to know tonight is that the greatest thing you can do, and what I'm begging you all to do, the greatest act of love we can do is to give yourself to somebody else. That's the highest form of love. The most loving words in the world are, this is my body given for you. I was going to do it, but I don't have to now. But can we one more time give a hand to these people who are joining our armed forces? I was going to go into that more. I'm thankful we did that at the beginning. Guys, every soldier that's ever signed up for our armed forces has told the entire country, this is my body given for you. Wow. You know, some of you are going to go on and you're going to find somebody, you're going to marry them. And even in 2024, some people are discouraged about that. There's nothing more beautiful than marriage. Go get married. And you're going to find somebody, and you're going to find your husband or your wife, and you're going to look them in the eye, and you're going to say, this is my body given for you. And some of you are going to, some of you ladies in gold tonight, y'all look beautiful. Some of you ladies are going to become mothers. What a joy. And you're going to become a mother. And a mother from the moment that baby is in her to the time it's born, for months and years, the rest of her life, that mother tells that child, this is my body given for you. And husbands and fathers look at that life and look at that child and they say, I'll do anything to protect them. And every night when they put them in bed, they say, this is my body given for you. Christ said it from the cross to the world. This is my body given for you. He said it to his best friends in the upper room. He said every day all over the world, the universe, this is my body given for you. And all that sounds so grandiose and big, and some of y'all are thinking, yeah, but I'm just like going to eat at Topher's after this, so I don't know how that applies to me right now. And so what I'm ultimately saying is, guys, I'm not worried about what your big career plans are or your vocations are. Go out into the world and give yourself to other people. Go be good husbands, go be good wives, go be good children, go be good brothers and sisters and friends. Love other people. Look for ways that you can give yourself to them. Don't ask what this world's going to do for you. I'm getting history right now, right? What can you do for your country? I sincerely love you guys so much. I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope that you leave this room with hope and purpose and know how loved you are and go and love people and change the world. Thank y'all for letting me know you.
The next group of students that I want to recognize tonight are those that have done a lot in the academic world. So when I'm going to call these different courses out, and I want you to please stand if you've taken any of them. Honors, AP courses, or dual enrollment courses, please stand. The next group of students have cords honoring their achievement in academia. The gold cords that you see represent having a cumulative GPA of 98 to 100. These students have the distinction of being named summa cum laude.
Dorados, represented their grados acumulativo de 98 a 100. Estos estudiantes tienen la distinción de ser nombrados summa cum laude.
If you have a gold cord on, please stand. You may be seated. The next ones are the silver cords. Those cords represent a cumulative GPA of 94 to 97. These students have the distinction of being named magna cum laude.
Estos estudiantes tienen la distinción de ser nombrados magna cum laude.
If you have a silver cord on, please stand. Maybe seated. And lastly, the bronze cords that you see represent having a cumulative GPA of 90 to 93. These students have the distinction of being named cum laude.
Los cordones de bronce que representan tener grados de 90 a 93. Estos estudiantes tienen la distinción de ser nombrados cum laude.
If you have on a bronze cord, please stand. And for all the other students that don't have cords or anything, we're just as proud of you as well.
all friends and family who made the effort to come out and be with us on the special day. First of all, I would like to thank my parents for seeing the best in me and pushing me to focus on pursuing a further education and to be the best I could possibly be, no matter what route I take. In which I've chosen to become an engineer and hope to help people with disabilities through the use of robotics. And these people wanted a special shout out for the senior Frank, Fernando, Alex, and Ulysses for sneaking into the school and filling up the front office with balloons after hours. I would also like to thank all faculty and staff for encouraging all of the students here tonight to continue pursuing their goals. And no matter where all of you go, whether you pursue education, the workforce, or whatever it is y'all may do, I wish the best for every single one of you. And thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Yuriana Hernandez, the valedictorian of the class of 2024. Last year, around this time, I found out that I was in the race for valedictorian, and my sister-in-law bet money that I wouldn't be able to get it. It was then that I was determined to be valedictorian. I studied during late hours, sacrificed a lot of things, and worked very hard so that I could prove to them that I could get valedictorian. Once I heard my name called out for valedictorian on awards night, I was so excited. I thought to myself, my sister-in-law better start counting her days. But in all seriousness, I felt a rush of happiness and pride once I heard my name. I felt like a hero the rest of the night. Then the next day arrived, and I felt normal, as if the title valedictorian had no effect on me, and all this hard work was for no reason. I thought valedictorian would solve all my problems and bring success to me right away, but little did I know this was just the beginning of my journey. Some say, as individuals, we have the ability to shape and influence the events in our lives. But more than often, not the events in our lives shape us. These events are much like the unexpected, rapid currents of a deep, untamable river, but without my family, I wouldn't have been able to make it this far. I would like to thank my brothers, sisters, and my parents. While metaphorically, they say that parents move mountains and cross rivers for their children, my parents have literally moved countries and crossed deserts and rivers to give me and my brothers and sisters a better life. I can only imagine the pain and struggles my parents have gone through and still face to this day. Because of the fact that they were born in a different country with different expectations and reality. The fact is that those sacrifices and effort resulted in giving us a better life. I recognize it has not been easy coming into a country whose language and culture is completely different from ours, but they have always made sure my brothers, sisters, and I had everything we needed. They placed all their hope in this one chance at the American dream. Todo sea por el sueño americano. With the unknown, unforeseeable outcome, and so I owe it all to them. It is with great pride and honor that I stand before my family as I receive my high school diploma. I also want to thank all the faculty for their patience, motivation, and guidance that they offered to us from the moment our parents dropped us off for our very first day of kindergarten to this very moment. Our elementary teachers encouraged us to strive for the best, and because of them, we were able to enter middle school with a good mindset. Our middle school teachers faced us with very difficult challenges, but if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have been prepared for what high school had in mind for us. High school teachers are said to be the strictest and scariest, but that is not what our high school teachers were to us. They were understanding, honest, and guided us through problems that we didn't understand ourselves. So I just want to thank our elementary, middle, and high school teachers for everything that they have done for us so that we can be prepared for the next step in our lives. Now, I want to thank my fellow graduates for all the memories that made my school years fun and enjoyable. As I look into the crowd of faces, I am reminded of so many memories. I am reminded of the time when the Men's FIFA World Cup was happening while we were in school, and I would just look around and everybody would be watching the games and keeping up with the scores. I am also reminded of when there was this viral trend to remove appliances and items from the school, and there would be soap dispensers missing from our restrooms and posters missing from classrooms. And we can't forget about the time when we started freshman year, all separated from our friends, scared, wearing a mask because of COVID. We also had to try and make new friends coming into high school to stay together in order to not get targeted by the upperclassmen. These moments may not seem special, but to us, these are moments that created long-lasting memories for us. I want to mention a very encouraging quote to you all. A quote that has changed my perspective in the way I see life. This quote comes from one of the greatest movies of all time, Kung Fu Panda 2. It says, "Your story may not have such a happy beginning, but that doesn't make you who you are. It is the rest of your story, who you choose to be." We are starting a new chapter in our lives and leaving our past behind. Just because you weren't the brightest student or just because you made some bad decisions doesn't mean your career or goals are over. You can still continue to accomplish your dreams. It is you who chooses what to do with your life in the future. You have the power of changing a bad situation into something beautiful as long as you put your heart to it. What you do today determines who you will be tomorrow. I want you all to live life to its fullest, cherish every moment, and make your dreams reality. So without further ado, I want to congratulate you all for making it this far. The time has come for us to receive our diplomas and go out into the world to make a better change. Thank you, and I wish you all the very best of luck. Go Lions, and congratulations, class of 2024.
Samuel Aguilar. Lorenza Augustine Pedro. Servando Alarcón. Felipe Andrés. Elaine Andrés. Fernando Andrés Pascual. Brandy Elizabeth Antonio Gaspar. Ariela Aquino Ramos. Nadia Ariano. Dulce Nayeli Banda Moreno. David Barrientos de Jesus. Katie Basurto Bautista. Brianna Michelle Bowling. Magdalena Cabrera. Armando Chavez. Jesus Corona Garcia. David Cortez Juarez. Roger David Couillard. Logan Shane Crow. Juan de Santiago. Alexis Brooke Denton. Daisy Diaz Barrios. Zulema Stephanie Diaz Vargas. Jadira Diaz. Francisco Domingo. Johnny Domingo. Yareli Duran Corona. Joana Enriquez Cortez. Simón Junior Espinosa. Isela Felipe Gaspar. Emilio Felix Martín. Ulises Figueroa Cruz. Juan Francisco. Glenda Judith Francisco. Jonas Francisco Jimenez. Ángel Juan. Yadira Franco. Perla Franco Arquín. Yesenia Gabriela Franco Redden. Jessica Lorena Franco Redden. Daniela Franco Rios. Hallie Mae Freeman. Melissa Ellen Galladay. Jose Guadalupe Garcia Jr. Miguel Isaac Garcia. Joe Manuel Garcia Castellano. Julián Garcia del Ángel. Jerome Garcia Gonzaga. Eric Garcia Rodriguez. Esmeralda Garcia Sanchez. Catherine Garcia Rodriguez. Bailey Dawn Gist. Omar Corandentino Gomez Monroy. Daniel Gonzalez Alcon. Omar Gonzalez. Hernan Hernandez Franco. Doriana Hernandez. Josué Hernandez. Yuseli Hernandez Muñoz. Olivia Brianna Cheyenne Holloway. Emily Jacinto Lopez. Minerva Jean Jaramillo Marquez. Edwin Arquín. Miguel Jiménez. David Jiménez. Fernando Jiménez. Wallace Brian Jordan. Hermalinda Adalina Juan. Eulalia Juan de Juan. Leticia Juan Martín. María Juan Ramos. Callie Marie Lassiter. Roberto León Santana. Jeannie Linares Laguna. Brian Luna Lopez. Jorge Leva Chávez. Angel Lopez Garcia. Alizeia Michelle Lopez. Derek Lopez. Juana Lopez. Valente Lopez Padillo Jr. Ivan Lopez Garcia. Josué Lopez Fernández. César López Mendoza. Frankie López Godínez. Alicia Cristal Lucas Aragón. Natalie Lucharo Joselo. Francisco Marcos Domingo. Amy Martínez. Valentín Mateo José. María Mateo José. Thomas Wayne Matthews. Dakota Mendoza. Alex Moreno Ramos. Emily Lucia Tequiro. Kia Nicole Mullins. Naomi Munoz. Addie Nava. Kevin Ortiz. Marcelina Pascual Gaspar. Lucas Dwayne Peppers. Daniela Barota Venegas. Julie Perez. Julissa Perez. Giselda Perez Cortés. Luis Perez Ramos. William Rennie Perez Vasquez. Danielle Amelia Bragan. Leslie Quintana. Goldsmith Alexis Quintana Valderrama. Lindsay Denise Ramirez. Omar Ramirez Brito. Diana Ramirez Quintana. Marcela Ramirez Sales. Ruby Reyes Ramirez. Emilia Reynoso Juan. Erickson Reynoso Tomás. Alberto Reza Saldaña. Sebastián Rodríguez. William Sales Cabrera. Gabriela Salvador. Ana Tomás Sebastián. Belinda Simón Solís. Axel Soriano. Isaiah Daniel Shane Spence. Pascual Juan Tomás. Udiel Zinzun Custodio. Marco Antonio Valdez Rao. Alfredo Junior Vasquez. Werner Vasquez Ramirez. Iram Velázquez. Gianna Viviana Velázquez Jr. Efren Miguel Villanueva Chavez. Declan Edward Alexander Whitmore. Ismael Zamaripa. Luis Francisco Zavala Gutierrez. Denise Zavala Vega.
I think you seniors are waiting on something, right? Seniors, please stand. On behalf of Crossville High School, I now present to you the senior class of 2024. Seniors, you may toss your tassel.